teenage girl collapsed mid-flight, her lips pale, her breathing faint, yet no one moved. Her father shouted for help, passengers stood frozen, and a flight attendant clutched the pouch she had ripped from the girl's hands just minutes earlier. It held her medication, her lifeline, but it had been dismissed, confiscated, ignored. Phones came out, eyes widened, and as chaos unfolded at 30,000 feet, one truth became undeniable. This wasn't a medical emergency, it was a racial one. This is the story of what happens when silence becomes complicity. Welcome story. Lovers, where are you watching from? Comment your city. It was supposed to be a dream trip. 14-year-old Amaya sat by the window, clutching her backpack, her maroon Stanford hoodie slightly oversized on her small frame. She'd just visited her dream university with her father, a respected professor, and now they were flying home tired, happy, and hopeful. Flying was routine for them. Her dad always made sure everything was planned, from carry-ons to the little pouch holding Amaya's life-saving medication. As passengers settled in, flight attendants moved briskly through the aisle, offering polite smiles and pre-flight safety checks. Everything seemed normal until a uniformed woman paused at their row, her gaze narrowing. Amaya didn't notice. She was pulling out her earbuds, ready for a nap. But in just a few minutes, that sense of safety would vanish. What started as a normal flight would unravel into a storm of panic, prejudice, and decisions that no child should ever face. The flight attendant's smile faded as her eyes fixed on Amaya's pouch. Without warning, she reached across the aisle. "What's that?" she snapped. Confused, Amaya held it up. "My medication," she said softly, but the woman's tone sharpened, accusing. "Not asking. That's not allowed. Hand it over." Father, startled, looked up from his tablet. "It's prescribed. She needs it," he said calmly, reaching for the pouch. But the flight attendant yanked it from Amaya's hands before he could react. "Security precaution," she barked, already marching toward the front. Gasps rippled from nearby rows. Amaya sat frozen, blinking back tears. Her chest tightened, not from panic, but from the lack of her meds. Her dad pressed the call button. No one came. 10 minutes passed, then 15. Her breathing grew shallow, her skin pale. Still no pouch. Still no explanation. Passengers whispered, glancing their way. Some looked concerned, others suspicious. Amaya's father stood, trying to stay calm. "I need to speak to the captain. My daughter could go into shock." A second flight attendant blocked the aisle. "Sir, please return to your seat." His voice cracked. "She has a heart condition." That bag wasn't just medicine. Her lifeline. No response, no help, just cold stares. And then, Amaya slumped slightly, eyes fluttering. Something was terribly wrong, and no one on that plane seemed to care. Amaya's head tilted back, her body limp. Her father shouted for help, his voice no longer calm, but desperate. Passengers stood. Some pulled out phones, others demanded answers. Still, the crew hesitated. Minutes dragged. Finally, an off-duty nurse rushed over, checking Amaya's pulse. "She needs that medication now," she yelled. Only then did the crew scramble, radioing the cockpit and searching the overhead bins like it was suddenly urgent. Her father's hands trembled as he held his daughter's face, his voice cracking. "Stay with me, baby." The oxygen mask came too late. The pouch, when it was finally returned, had been unzipped, its contents disturbed, and the look on the flight attendant's face. Not guilt. Just fear of what came next. This wasn't just negligence, it was discrimination in uniform. Dear audience, if you're enjoying the story, don't forget to give it a like, it really helps. Amaya stabilized, but barely. The flight was forced to return to the gate. Her father demanded accountability, not just for his daughter's life nearly lost, but for every parent who fears flying while black. The airline issued a generic apology, but no one forgot the look in that flight attendant's eyes, like Amaya's life was an inconvenience. News of the incident went viral. Protests followed. And yet, for Amaya, the trauma didn't end on the tarmac. This wasn't just a bad flight. It was a mirror of a world where skin color still decides urgency, care, and compassion. How many more children have to suffer before the system sees them as human first? Thanks for watching. Subscribe to our channel for more powerful stories and new videos.